The Matt Rhule era, and Nebraska fans know what that means. Let's talk about it. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If that is something you're into, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. Do you believe Nebraska will win 10 games or more this year? Gonna unpack for you why I think it's in the offing. And we're following some trends here that are pretty remarkable as they pertain to Matt Rhule. Talk a little bit of personnel, talk a little bit about the schedule. Also want to remind you that we do have an audio podcast on Apple and Spotify. Really appreciate you guys downloading that and listening to that in its entirety as you can go. If you go there and you do leave us a 5-star review on Spotify and Apple, I am willing to send you one of these stickers in the mail with a thank you note because it means that much to me. If you don't want a sticker, that's okay. That's fine. You can still leave the 5-star review. We're going to start doing some live shows here pretty quickly as we got Big 12 Media Days beginning Tuesday and Wednesday, which for me is, we're in it, baby. We're in preseason, right? We got this for the next 6 weeks, and then we're playing games. And I'm so excited to be playing games because I keep telling people, don't cry to me if you cover the NBA. Don't cry to me if you cover the NFL. Certainly don't cry to me if you cover Major League Baseball or professional soccer. I have the longest offseason on the American sports calendar. I also have the shortest regular season on the American sports calendar. So I have no sympathy for those that are going, oh my God, I have to make some offseason content now. Yeah, dog. Talk to me from January to July 8th, in which case we're still doing off-season content. It's just preseason content because people start to care about our sport, and you can almost see people like turning over and going, man, college football is around the corner. Damn right it's around the corner, and it cannot get here fast enough. We got some outstanding matchups coming up with Florida State and Alabama because Thomas Castellano said they ain't seen my fastball yet, and he's about to learn what that means when Crash says, hey, here comes the deuce. And when you speak of me well. Hit it off the bull. We're going to be talking about Miami. And, oh my God. Like, this Notre Dame Miami thing could be actually gold, right? LSU, Clemson. Awesome. Monday night, we're going to have a North Carolina, Texas Christian. And, of course, the big one, Ohio State, Texas. Fortunately for Nebraska, they dodged the defending national champion this year. But they do play the defending Big Ten champions, but they get them at home, which is kind of part of this. But I'm going to do this again because I feel like I got to keep doing it because the kiddos just don't understand. Realize that for 40 friggin' years, basically from the JFK administration to the end of the first term of Obama, you didn't want no truck with Nebraska lest you get your ass beat. That's not how you do it. For 40 years, you count on 3 things. They were going to win at least 9 games, probably one over your dead body. They were going to win a national championship an average of every 8 years. And they were going to run that damn triple option that was heaven for Husker fans and hell for literally everybody else. We're talking about a program that has sold out every game, even when they had to buy out the seats, since about 1962. Okay? They take their football as seriously as anybody on the planet. And I am going to include Liverpool, Manchester United, Borussia Dortmund, anybody else you want to throw in there. Okay? It is the national team in Lincoln. So what we got going on year 3? Well, how things have changed. Because since Nebraska willingly shot itself in the foot and took a step back by leaving the Big 12 to go to the Big 10, we don't recognize this program. Those of us of a certain age. Y'all be like, hey, RJ, Nebraska been trash all my life. I'm telling y'all, dog, up until 2009, those words would have never left your lips, period. Ndamukong Suh damn near beat Texas by himself. Same Texas that played for the national championship against Alabama. Same Texas that if Colt McCoy doesn't go down, probably makes that into a much better football game against the Bama instead of us seeing, this is what Nick Saban's really going to be like for the next 15 years. My God. You also got to take into account here Matt Rhule in year 3, who's going to have a veteran quarterback as a true sophomore, which is wild, right, with Dylan Raiola. Because if we're talking about Raiola in a different way, had Jeremiah Smith not been Jeremiah Smith, we might be talking about that dude being the Big Ten Freshman of the Year. He was that good, 2,800 yards last year. He is capable of passing for 3,500 yards and 30 TDs, especially with an offensive coordinator that is as inventive as he is entertaining in Dana Holgorsen, who doesn't really want to make the offense that complicated. And will say things like with Will Grier, when they're going to go play Texas, the horns down, hey, you guys want to go win the damn game? Let's go win the damn game, right? We're going to win now. Or my favorite story to tell about him is when he was offensive coordinator at Oklahoma State, and he had Brandon Wheaton, he had Justin Blackman. And they would call these plays where Brandon Wheaton would come back to the sideline, and Dana would be like, what the hell's going on? Because you're just not getting rid of the football. What's going on? He's like, I can't see it. I don't trust it. And he says, if I was you, I'd just throw it to Blackman. And it's like, but he's covered. And so next series, that's what he did. And he did that for the next 7 plays. And every one of them worked, because if I got a guy that's better than your guys, I'm going to throw in the ball. I don't give a damn what coverage you're in, okay? That is who Dana Holgorsen is going to be with this team. Now, all you need is a Dane Key, Ja'Cory Barnes, a Nazir Wright, Sierra Wright. Nazir, what's your last name again, dog? I forgot already. Man, I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget either. Doggone it. Hunter. Isaiah Hunter. My goodness. Get one of them dudes to step up, right? Maybe see the 3,000-yard receiver ever in Nebraska history. That fact is wild only if you don't know Nebraska's history. Like, throwing the football is a felony in Nebraska until about 2003, right? Like, until you get into the space where you've got a quarterback that can sling it, we're not really going there. You throw the football, you must want to go to prison. Like, they got laws against throwing the football up until the mid-aughts, right? Because that's not what they do. They're going to run this damn ball, play great defense. I also think that this is a spot where you can look at the defense and feel like they're going to be fine. They're going to be okay. John Butler knows what he's doing. For those that are unfamiliar with Butler, he's promoted basically to defensive coordinator. But before that, he had been the secondaries coach for the Buffalo Bills, which means Tre'Davious White, Micah Hyde. Those are his guys. Before that, he'd been at Penn State. He'd even coached a little bit at Harvard. He's been around. He knows how to call some defense. And he's got a couple of dudes that I really like. I mean, you've got Dasan McCullough, who was at Oklahoma, who could be an all Big Ten performer for you. You've also got Sierra Wright coming back, who can blossom, right? We saw that dude pick one off, run it back to the house. And you've got a really interesting G5 call-up in Marquez Watson. What's your last name, dog? Trent. That's twice today, RJ. Damn, I'm struggling. I'm not struggling to remember the man averaged 122 tackles a season for the last 3 years, though. The numbers stick. Y'all know me in names, man. I be working at it. It took me all of 6 months to get Uwe Ungalale. But I got it just in time for everybody to forget it, because last year he was trash. I hate that for me. I hate that for you. But I usually get there. It just takes me a little, I got to get my reps in, right? I need my at-bats, if you will. Now, why does all this have to do with Matt Rhule in year 3? Glad you asked that question. At Temple, which is apparently just gone back into a place that we just don't trust or care about, he managed to turn a 2-win team into a 10-win team almost overnight, right? That's ridiculous. By year 3, they had won 10 games again. Year 3 at Baylor, which is a step up, right? You're playing against Oklahoma. You're playing against Texas. This is that era, last great era of the Big 12. He won 11 games at Baylor, who was coming all the way back from Art Briles and them. And now he's at year 3 of the Nebraska experience, where they were not good year 1. They won 7 games in year 2, and now it feels like they're on the verge, because this is also a Nebraska team, and again, the kiddos just don't understand. Us not seeing Nebraska play for a bowl game for 7 friggin' years in a row is Twilight Zone stuff. We just don't, how, right? And we know how. Like, I could walk you through Scott Frost, and I could walk you through all of it. I really could. But we're not going to do that. We are going to say they went bowling last year, and they won their bowl game, Pinstripe Bowl. Don't mind anybody really care about that, but 7-6, right? Which same record that Georgia Tech had, and Georgia Tech knocked off 2 top 10 opponents and damn near beat Georgia in 8 overtimes. We're also looking at this from the administration all the way down, like from Troy Dannon all the way. They have a plan for how to succeed in the modern era. That is transfer portal, immediate eligibility, name, image, and likeness, revenue sharing. They got a plan for that. And you can do that in places like Nebraska a little bit easier than you can in others because everybody's pulling for the Huskers. So everybody lines up to help you in a way that, say, in the state of Oklahoma, you got really 2 schools, right? You got Oklahoma State, you got OU. On the east side of the state where I live is bathed in orange. On the west side of the state where everybody else lives is bathed in crimson and cream. You don't have that problem in Nebraska. For that matter, you ain't supposed to have that problem in Arkansas, which, I also found wild. Or Wisconsin. So we are banking on Matt Rhule having put together the pieces with a really great roster, right? That includes 3 starters returning on the offensive line. You're going to find a tailback that can run the ball. If you can throw the ball just a little bit, you've got a schedule that lines up, dog. It's not just that you got 7 home games. It's that you only go on the road really 4 times. And only one of those games is against a ranked opponent. You get Michigan coming to you. You got to go to Happy Valley. We don't expect you'll win that game. But outside of that, everybody else is coming to you. You dodge Ohio State. You dodge Oregon. There's no USC on the menu. You're at UCLA. Maybe the time zone messes with you just a little bit, but I expect you would win that game. You're not playing anybody that we expect to make the playoff outside of the 2 teams that I named, Michigan and Penn State. And Michigan, could be. They're the defending Big Ten champions, though. Defending Big Ten. They are not the defending Big Ten. Oregon is defending Big Ten champions. That's on me. My fault. So, no, we're not even talking about that. We're talking about just one team on the entire schedule that made the playoff last year, and that be Penn State. If you don't win 10 games with this schedule, I just don't see you winning 10 games next year. But again, all of the signs we have point to you're due. Like, I know we say it, but it's kind of like we were talking about with Texas for years. Like, when is Texas going to get back? And everybody makes the same joke. I'll believe it when I see it. Nebraska fans feel the same way. I'll believe it when I see it. No hopes, no expectations. Matter of fact, I go to a gym here locally where it is quite, I'm not kidding, the owner's a Wisconsin fan. And I mean, a big-ass portrait of Barry Alvarez is on the wall in his office, Wisconsin fan. And I was telling him a wild stat that basically speaks to the DNA of football programs. Like I mentioned on the show a couple times that Georgia's only had 1,000-yard receiver in its history. It's Terrence Edwards, 2002, he had 1,004 yards receiving. Nobody else. Not George Pickens, not Brock Bowers, not Hines Ward, not A.J. Green, right? And we got all kinds of excuses as to why, but the fact of the matter is Georgia went back-to-back without a 1,000-yard receiver. Dog, what? 2021, 2022. And I was thinking about this as it relates to other places where your DNA is your DNA. Wisconsin, their DNA is running the football. So you will probably be shocked to hear, or not, depending on who you are, that since 2022 against Oklahoma State, Wisconsin is 12-0 when they rush for 150 yards or more in a game. 12-0. They are 13-1 when they just hand the ball off 35 times. So Luke Fickell, Paul Chryst, doesn't matter. Jim Leonard. Run the damn ball at Wisconsin, good things happen. I think the same thing is true at Nebraska. Sometimes it's about your DNA. And that's why I was mentioning when you didn't want it with Nebraska, they didn't ever fix what wasn't broken. You knew what they were going to do. You knew it. To that Dana Holgerson point about just throw it to Blackman. You knew what they were going to do, and you could not stop it. Perhaps as we are getting toward the modern era, and we've seen more innovative offenses, and you've also seen guys just kind of go back to, what's really difficult to stop? A man trying to run through your face. Ahman Green could do it. Even as that quote belongs to beast mode, what Ahman Green told me as I was walking through campus with him, doing a little bit, is I wanted to smash through him face. That's what I was looking to do. He said, I used to get coached up by the defensive tackles going, we don't run the ball like that, Fresh. When you run the ball at Nebraska, you run it with power, strength, and authority from the defensive tackles. If you get in that kind of truck, you getting that kind of talking to, that kind of trade from the DTs, dog, we know what time it is. No wonder they was able to run all up and down everybody they played. Everybody knew what the game was. Couldn't nobody do nothing about it. That's football. That's football. We're going to line up. We're going to get into our power eye, and we are coming straight at you. We dare you to stop us. Goodness, man. If Big Red could get back to that, cancel Christmas.